So it's Saturday night, all your friends are out partying, you're sitting here home alone uploading designs, and the negative thoughts start creeping in. You start wondering, I just want to sell some Mexico designs. I got to compete with 136,000 people. Nobody's going to buy my designs. I've been doing this for 4 months, uploading designs every night. All I want to do is sell some funny vintage designs. I have to compete with 729,000 people. Different designs out there. I don't have a life. I'm lonely. I'm tired. This isn't fun. Well, look, you're not alone. And you're not crazy thinking that. So in this video, I've got 5 specific tips that I personally use to avoid burnout. I have a full-time job with 40 hours a week of work. I have multiple print-on-demand platforms, and I love it. So let's avoid some burnout with these 5 tips. You're not alone, you're not crazy. And my first tip is pretty straightforward. You know the old saying that a change is as good as a vacation? What I try to do is every week, I try to flip through my different print-on-demand sites. So here I'm on Redbubble, and then maybe the next week I'll start working on, Displate, for example. So I might spend a whole week, working there, and then I might take a week and look on Teepublic. So what I'm doing is I'm shifting through the different platforms. Here's Etsy, Displate, merch. There's a bunch of different platforms that you can sign up for and get going. There's Fine Art America, for example. There's Zazzle. There's all sorts of different platforms. So my first tip is maybe schedule weeks if you're feeling burnt out, if you're feeling like this isn't much fun anymore, and try something new, because even though you might be uploading essentially the same designs, a different platform means different tagging, different look and feel, and it kind of tricks your brain into feeling fresh and new. My next tip is similar, and it really involves splitting out the tasks that make up print on demand. So for example, a lot of people will do all of this at the same time. They'll spend one evening doing niche research, then they will, find a few designs, then they will create them, they'll upload them, and it can be a lot of work in one evening. So what I would recommend you do is don't worry about all of these tasks. There's a lot of stuff to do in one evening. Just take the first night and just do niche research. So, go on to Pinterest and just have some fun. And then the next night, worry about, opening up Photoshop or Canva or whatever your tool is and work on creating designs. Then the next night, work on uploading your designs and just take an hour and just do uploading. Don't worry about creating. Don't worry about any of the other stuff. And then, on the 4th night, you can just work on social media. Maybe you go on Twitter or Pinterest or whatever you're using to promote your designs, and you would sort of just spend an hour on that. And then you're not worrying about the other areas of print on demand. Sort of wear 2 hats. Imagine, for example, all of this means you're the president and the CEO, right? You're the boss. But when you're working in the evenings or when you're working an hour at a time, put on the hat of just you're that specialist. And it takes some of the pressure off to have to constantly be in charge of this massive operation of thousands of designs on multiple platforms. Just worry about, if it's night number 3, all you're doing tonight is uploading for an hour. That's it. And it sort of mentally gives your brain a bit of a break. So one of the biggest enemies of progress is boredom. And if you're getting bored, ask yourself, what's the most boring part of the process? Now, for me, it's uploading the designs. Oh my goodness, I hate it. I just find it really boring and repetitive. So what I really try to do is make the process as fun as possible. If I know I'm going to be downstairs uploading for an hour or 2 in an evening, I'll throw on a podcast and I'll listen to something interesting, and it kind of, it's a boring routine task uploading, right? And so I can listen to a podcast. I can also get involved with music. I can throw on my favorite songs. I really like listening to classical music because it doesn't have words in it. So you can kind of, sometimes your brain's in the mood for words, in which case I'll listen to a podcast. Sometimes your brain's in the mood for music, and if you're finding music distracting, then consider listening to some ambient music that does not have words in it. That's just an option. And the other thing is I'll say is, make it fun. I usually grab myself a Slurpee or a bag of chips or something, a little bit of a snack, and then I'll kind of just sit down and I'll park myself for a couple hours. And it's like watching TV. I'm just watching Redbubble for an hour instead of watching, television. So that's an idea to try to make things fun as well. The next tip really is to have a work mindset to it. Imagine your regular job, right? You don't just work 16 hours a day at your regular job if you have a regular job. So what I would recommend you do is schedule an hour in the evening or an hour during the day, and then hold yourself to that hour. Maybe you're working from 3 till 4 p.m. that day, or maybe you're working in the morning before you start your day and you work from 7 in the morning till 8 in the morning. But just schedule the time and then stick to it. And even if you're in the middle of a design, maybe finish that design, but maybe you have more to upload, that's okay. You can always come back to it tomorrow. Leaving yourself a little bit extra to get back to the next day will help keep yourself motivated rather than completely finishing a task and have really nothing to do the next day. Leave yourself 1 or 2 little breadcrumbs that you can come back to the next day, and that will make it a little more engaging. The last tip really is more of a mindset, so I'm going to be preaching a little woo-woo here right now, and it's the idea about celebrating your successes. I think this is a really important piece, and I know that the margins on a Teepublic or a Redbubble aren't huge per sale. So especially if you're starting out, it's easy to get burnt out because you're going, man, I'm doing all this work and I'm getting $2 for a sale, especially if Teepublic's having a sale, so all the margins are cut in half. Here's one, Redbubble's, I made a sale, I got 22 cents US. I mean, look, I know these are not huge amounts. So what I do instead is I focus on the sale itself, not the amount of the sale. So for example, like, I get this email from Displate and it says, congratulations, you've made a sale. And, I get an email from Redbubble and it says, congratulations, you've made a sale. I don't really care about the amount per se for terms of motivation. Yes, it's nice to get an $18 US sale, but with Teepublic, for example, I look at this as, in my mind, I look at this as literally passive income now. I've uploaded this t-shirt and it's going to sit there for the next 20 years and somebody might buy it today, tomorrow, next week, next year. And so to me, it's truly free income now coming in. Yes, it was work to design and upload, but it's there forever. So what I would encourage you to do, and I mean, I've done this myself, I'll print off sales reports or I'll print off individual emails that I get and I will put them on the fridge. If I ever finish a custom order, I'll put that information on the fridge as well. And so when I go for a walk and I reflect on things, I'm very excited to think that somebody somewhere has a sticker that they bought from me on Redbubble that they're using in their life. That's a neat idea. Somebody somewhere in the world is wearing a t-shirt that I designed. That's a cool feeling. Whether you're making any money off of it, 2 cents, 22 cents, or $22, it doesn't really matter because you've made a positive difference in the world. So remember that when you're feeling low and you're feeling like nobody cares. Yes, it's not about the money per se. It's about providing value in the world. And I really try hard to focus on that every day. How much value can I provide? And when I do that, it really lifts my spirits and keeps me going. Feedback is important. That's why I don't unsubscribe from these email feeds. I could unsubscribe from this Displate feed, but I like getting this email saying, hey, you've made a sale. Now it might be $2, $3, $4. But it's not about the money. It's about the impact that I'm having on a complete stranger's life. That's a very cool feeling, and that really recharges my batteries. So I hope you found that helpful. A few tips and tricks here so that we can keep going. And as always, please do leave a comment, hit that like button. Speaking of motivation, seeing comments in the YouTube channel is actually really motivating to me too. And hopefully it is to each other in this community to keep us going and, keep us positive as well. So I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching.